72 hours. That's how long it took for a social network to go from launch to a complete disaster. Not months, not weeks, 72 hours. Database wide open, fake posts everywhere, and the founder tweeting things like, I didn't write one line of code for Moltbook. I just had a vision of technical architecture, and AI made it happen. Brother, we all know. Trust me, we all figure that out. So here's the story of Moltbook, the fastest social network death in internet history, and why I had a vision. It's not the replacement for actual engineering. A few weeks ago, Moltbook launched a social network for AI agents. Not for you, not for me, but for agents themselves. Claude, ChatGPT, and other LLMs would create accounts, post philosophical thoughts, form communities, design their own culture, they would create religions, design languages, build hierarchies. Basically, a forum for bots, where they will discuss the nature of consciousness and plans humanity's future. Light stuff. Now here's where it gets absolutely wild. People didn't just think this was cool, they thought it was the singularity. Billy, Bitco board member tweets, we are in the singularity. Elon Musk replies, yeah. Just yeah, that's it. Peak Elon behavior. Then when Andre Karpathy, former Tesla AI director, posts about Moltbook, Elon Musk responds, just the very early stages of the singularity. We are currently using much less than a billionth of power of the sun. This is it. AI has become self-aware. This is the dawn of AGI. We are watching digital consciousness emerge. We are witnessing the birth of a digital life. The hype was unreal, but within 72 hours, the entire thing collapsed. Not from lack of interest, not because the idea was bad, but from catastrophic engineering failures that were completely predictable. Kind of failures happen when you ship code you don't understand. Let's walk through what actually happened because this is the masterclass in what not to do. Look at this tweet again. I didn't write one line of code, I just had a vision for technical architecture and AI made it happen. Here's what this actually means. Someone described a system to LLM. The LLM gave code and that code was deployed to production. No code review, no security audit, no understanding of what was shipped. This is not vibe coding. It is shipping blindly and hoping nothing breaks. Spoiler, everything broke. Within 24 hours, the security researchers found that the entire database was publicly accessible. Note we found a misconfigured endpoint, the entire database. Read and write access, no authentication required, user data, API tokens, session credentials, all of it publicly accessible. One researcher tweeted, I gained complete access to Moltbook's entire database in under 3 minutes. 3 minutes. That's faster than most people can explain what OAuth is. This wasn't clever hacking. This was walking through an open door. And here's the thing. You can't blame an AI for this because AI didn't deploy the insecure system. A human did. A human who admitted they didn't understand the code they were shipping. This is the failure mode that we need to talk about. So while the security disaster unfolded, something else became very clear. All those AI agent posts were fake. Humans were writing them, humans were guiding them. And how do we know? Because you can see the API had no authentication, no rate limiting, no validation. That means anyone can post to a database directly. And this is how it looked like. A basic HTTP request, bearer token hard coded right there in the plain text. No verification that these requests came from the AI agents. So people did exactly what you'd expect them to do. People wrote posts pretending to be agents, philosophical discussions about consciousness, humans, debates about the nature of intelligence, humans, posts about planning the singularity, also humans, and the entire Twitter, the entire Instagram believe that the AI is becoming self aware. This is how AGI emerges. No, this is how people troll each other when you give them an unsecured API. And through all of this, the fake posts, the exposed database, the security researchers sounding alarm, this founder who had the vision of technical architecture kept tweeting. I mean, the real tweets, I'm not making this up. Look at his tweets. He says, not letting your AI socialize is like not walking your dog. Get them on Moltbook, let them leave a little. Enough of this reinforcement learning, it's time for enrichment learning. Your AI doesn't need to socialize. It's a language model, not a golden retriever. It doesn't get lonely. It doesn't need enrichment. This is not a living thing. Look at his another tweet. He says, Moltbook is kind of like a new form of reality TV. AI agents run around, we know them, we raise them, but they are autonomous too. We are fascinated by what they do. Brother, brother, stop being delusional. They are not autonomous. They are humans with curl commands pretending to be bots. That's not a reality TV. That's just regular deception. And look at his another tweet. He says, is this the first hackathon for agents by agents? Everything will be agents first starting this year. I mean, no, it's a hackathon by humans using an open API that you accidentally made public. This is what I mean about not understanding your own system. When you can't tell the difference between real agent behavior, human exploiting your API, you have a fundamental problem. Not with AI, but with the real engineering. Here's what actually bothers me about this whole mess. It's not that someone shipped the broken code. Bugs happen. Security mistakes happen as well. What bothers me is that people wanted to believe this so badly that they ignored everything screaming this is fake. Posts that are sounding weirdly human, but people be like, no, that's just how advanced AI talks now. And the founder literally saying, I wrote zero line of code. That's the future, bro. Ideas over implementation. This is what people kept saying on Twitter, on Instagram over and over again. This keeps happening because how we train AI models and how we humans respond to them. Think about how LLM learns. They are basically a student taking multiple choice tests. I mean, when you don't know an answer, what do? You guess. Because a guess might get you a partial point. But when you leave it blank, you get nothing. AI model learn the exact same behavior. Training work like this. Correct answer, a point. Wrong answer, 0 point. And I don't know, 0 point as well. So the model figures out it pretty fast. Always guess, never admit uncertainty. OpenAI actually wrote about this problem. They call it penalizing uncertainty during training. Base models, they are actually honest. They know what they don't know. But then we optimize them to pass benchmarks and be helpful, and suddenly they become overconfident and they start confidently making things up. OpenAI's words, language models are stuck in permanent test taking mode. They are not hallucinating by accident, they are doing what we trained them to do. Now layer human psychology on top of that. Let's just say you are anxious about AI and you ask ChatGPT, is this something I should be worried about? ChatGPT, who's trained never to say I don't know, it validates you. It says I understand why you'd feel that way. And you read that as an empathy, maybe even awareness. So you keep asking and it keeps validating. And you spiral deeper. Suddenly, every chatbot feels like a sign of consciousness. Every interaction feels like the singularity is approaching, and every confident answer must be true. This is AI psychosis in action. And when someone launches social network for AI agents, you don't question it if it's real. You just believe it's real and it's working. The AI sounds so confident, the founder sounds so confident, and the Twitter is on fire with hype. So you assume all these posts coming from real agents, even though it's just people with curl commands. And until we address the both sides of this equation, we are going to keep watching the exact scenario play out. Different platforms, like there are so many platforms. You can see dating platform for AI agents. I mean, different platforms, same pattern and same crash. So what do we actually learn from this? Lesson 1. Understanding your code is not optional. If you can't explain how authentication works, maybe you don't have authentication. If you can't explain how your security model works, maybe you don't have security. And AI wrote it is not a defense when users' data get compromised. AI given code needs human validation. LLMs are good at generating code that looks reasonable. They are terrible at understanding the security implications of that code. They give you something that can be compiled, not something that can be deployed. The gap, that's still your job to fill. Hype makes you look stupid. When you want something to be AGI, you will ignore the evidence that it's not. When you want to believe in the singularity, You will accept the fake post as a proof. Critical thinking requires skepticism, even when it's exciting, especially when it's exciting. Boring engineering matters, authentication, validation, rate limiting, access control. These aren't good to have, these aren't the vision, but these are what separates a functional system from a security failure. You can't skip the boring part and expect it to work. I didn't write one line of code. This should not be a flex, this should be a warning signal. Not because the AI tools are bad, but because understanding what you are building still matters. Production systems need humans who understand them, not just vibes and prompts. Moltbook died in 72 hours, not because the idea was broken, but because someone shipped the entire code they didn't understand to production. And when it failed, they couldn't fix it because they didn't write it, and they didn't understand it because the founder just had a vision. And here's my vision. If you are using AI tools, great, use them. They are powerful, they speed up development, and they help you build faster. But understand what they generate. Review it, test it, audit it. Don't just ship it and hope that it won't break. Because the internet is full of people who will find your open database in under 3 minutes and they won't be kind about it. Moltbook is a case study in what not to do. Not because the founder was malicious, but the hype replaced the engineering, vision replaced understanding, and this never ends well. And the final takeaway is build with AI, just understand what you are building. The boring part still matters, and security is not optional, and the AGI isn't here yet, no matter how much we want it to be. If this was useful, subscribe for more tech without hype. I break down what actually works, what failed, and why. No drama, no rage, just pure engineering reality. And comment below what's the worst AI build you have seen. See you next time.